Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, Tiger Tank 12, having to call me, I don't really care, and welcome back to World of Tanks, or to be more precise, the Yuri Gagarin story. This is the very first cosmonaut, or as we in the Western world more readily know, astronaut that actually was the very first man in space. Yuri Gagarin was pretty damn big hero in the Soviet Union, not just in the Soviet Union, but during a time where the space race was on and the United States of America and the Soviet Union were racing each other towards being the very first to reach the moon, which obviously ended in 1969 with the very first mission where the Apollo crew with Armstrong and with Buzz Aldrin and the other guy that I completely forgot the name of, managed to reach the moon. But there was a time when the Soviets were ahead of the Americans, and that scared the Americans shitless. It was a time when they launched the very first satellite into the space. With obviously the first satellite. I just forgot its name, but the Soviets were the very first ones to launch the satellite, and they were the very first ones to launch a man into space. Yuri Gagarin was a huge inspiration for a lot of people, and he became famous throughout the world, not just the Soviet Union. He was really, I think, one of the guys that It was a feat, let's say it was a feat of humanity, not just the Soviet Union, but it was a feat of humanity that managed to put a man into space. Didn't really matter if you were blue, red, whatever. There was one guy out in space, and everyone celebrated that. So, to celebrate his story, his 60th anniversary of being in space, they have actually made an event. World of Tanks has made an event, and it's the Yuri Gagarin story. And there's actually an event which is quite well done, and it's actually quite nice. So there are missions that you can do in World of Tanks that will grant you points to certain unlocks. And we're going to be talking about the unlocks in just a second. But first, we're going to go through this dynamic kind of story, which shows you the exact way of how Yuri Gagarin, became an astronaut or a cosmonaut, and then was the first man in space. So, right here is the story. To grow our wings, one must have the desire to fly. So, the middle of the 20th century, science fiction is blooming. Every night, millions of children all over the world peer into the starry sky, dreaming of discovering what lies beyond. As time passes, the cherished dreams steadily turn into reality. Multi-stage ballistic missiles are successfully tested. Yeah, not just for space exploration, but also for the total annihilation of humanity. Those intercontinental ballistic missiles that everyone was building. The first artificial satellite is launched, Belka and Strelka, making an incredible 17 revolutions around the Earth. It was Belka and Strelka. Chimpanzee Ham follows their footsteps, proving the road to space is open for us. Pioneering human space exploration is now just a matter of time, and anyone has a chance to become the trailblazer, even if you're a simple boy from the far reaches of a big country. Yuri Gagarin was born on March 9th, 1934, in the small village of Kluzhnyo near Smolensk, Soviet Union, into the family of a carpenter and a dairy farm worker. So he has a very, very, let's say, very worker background, and looks really cool if you just think about that. So like 15,000 right there. This is actually the points right here that you have to achieve. But we'll get to that in just a second. I'm just going to back out of here again if I can't find it. We're gonna read the story first. So, the chief of power in man is the power of the spirit. I'm not going to read all of it. You can read it if you want to read it up here. But actually, I already read this one. On October 27th, 1955, Yuri Gagarin was sent to an aviation school, which he graduated with honors. The talented pilot was one of 352 candidates for the place of the world's first cosmonaut and successfully passed the initial selection. entering a shortlist of 6. So this is a centrifuge right there, you know, to test out and to get the cosmonauts trained for space. And it looks like it's really well done, right? The design and all of the colors looks really, really cool. So they really put a lot of time into this journey, this story. So right here we have the missile that will launch him into space. Going head to head in an unprecedented encounter with nature, can one dream of more? At 9:07 on April 12th, 1961, the 3-stage Vostok 8K 72K launch vehicle took off from Baikonur Cosmodrome, Kazakhstan, to carry the 4,725 kilogram Vostok 1 spaceship with Yuri Gagarin on board into Earth's orbit. At 9:18:27, after separation of the 3rd stage, the spaceship entered near Earth orbit with an apogee of 327 kilometers and perigee of 181 kilometers. I have no idea, apogee or apogee, perigee. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it. At the time of the flight, the first cosmonaut was just 26 years old, so that was pretty damn impressive. So 26 years old, 1961, April 12th, he was out in space. I'm not really sure how long he was out in space, but it wasn't that long. I think it was just a half an hour or something like that, right? Oh no, actually it's 108 minutes. Circling the Earth, I marvel at the beauty of our planet. During his 108 minutes in space, Yuri Gagarin managed to complete a full circle around the Earth, not only becoming the world's first astronaut, but also the first person to have an orbital meal. His space diet included surreal puree with meat paste, chocolate sauce, and canned water. On the way back to Earth, the return trajectory was so steep that the overload increased to a massive 12G. At an altitude of 7 kilometers, the cosmonaut ejected from the descent module, and at 4 kilometers, the main parachute opened. 4 kilometers is not that far off the ground if we are being real, right? So I thought that the parachute would open a lot sooner, but I think right here, this we don't really see the planet, but it looks like it's the launch of the rocket, and this is probably going to be, yeah, as you can see right here, his trial when he was driving through Moscow or Soviet cities. He was one of the most famous men during that time in the Soviet Union. Definitely one of the most charismatic. I think a lot of people really liked the guy. And then he died in an aircraft or in a trial, in an accident with the plane. And there are actually rumors that he might have been assassinated because he was just being too popular in the Soviet Union. But those are all just, like theories that we cannot confirm. We don't know anything about it. Just curious that they told that story. It's quite interesting. He was definitely a very well-liked man in the Soviet Union. This is history in the making. This is a new era. By 11 a.m. on April 12th, Moscow time, Yuri Gagarin was pacing the Earth's surface. Some 16 days later, his world tour began. The cosmonaut visited over 20 countries, including Finland, France, Great Britain, Canada, Brazil, India, Japan, and countries in Africa. Wow. They could have just named the African countries. Gagarin met with heads of states, public figures, ordinary citizens, and everywhere he was received with cheers and ovation. For the first time, one man could unite so many people of different nations, social statuses, and beliefs. Yes, that's the case. What happened with Yuri Gagarin. And that's a really cool way of showing, giving a little bit of props in this story and adding that into World of Tanks. It's definitely a cool event. It's quite nice to see. Now, the thing that I have to call out, though, just in a second, real fast, as you can see right here, is there are several stages. All of these story snippets have stages to them. So the very first stage is the one that we have actually completed, and we're going to be talking about that in just a second. But you always have the option to get more star points. These star points you do unlock by playing World of Tanks. and you have to do several things to actually, you know, complete the stages. There are missions, you'll just see them in the missions tab, and you can finish them there. So you can see I'm currently on stage 2 and I'm trying to get 15 million, I don't even know what that's supposed to be, stars or matter or whatever it is. So we're just gonna switch over to the rewards. What can you get out of this? So right here you have the daily missions. I'm not gonna click on that because it will reroute me onto a different part of the website. So the daily missions you can get on this website. I will put the link in the description below where you can actually sign in. And what is this all about? So the star points is consistent, or star points allows you to get certain rewards, and these rewards are quite different. So for the very first stage, which I have completed, you can get free launch vehicle decals, which look really kind of cool. Fyodor Simonchuk crew skin. I think I've heard of his name, but you have to actually redeem these rewards. So if you're on the website, you can click on this get stage rewards and you can redeem it. On the next stage, which is stage 2, which allows you, where you need 6 million experience points. No, actually you need 7.5 million, excuse me, because I already am at 9 million. You can get 3 Vostok decals, James Lagvik crew skin, right there. The third stage you need 22.5 million star points, so that's an increase by 7.5. You can see it's actually always going to be 7.5 million stars that you need to get. So in the end you need about 37,500,000. So the second or the third tier is going to be 3 in orbit decals, Joaquin Ramirez crew skin. I think these guys are currently in space, if I'm not mistaken. Are these guys that are currently on the International Space Station, or am I just mistaken? So the 3 Conqueror of Space decal looks really cool. It's the Alexei Belkovets crew skin. And in the end, if you manage to finish this this event by the 12th of April, you are able to unlock the To the Stars medal with the Yuri Gagarin decal, which is pretty damn cool. I think that's pretty cool. And I think if you finish all of it, you are able to get Yuri Gagarin as a crew commander in World of Tanks. So let's go over to the website. It'll show you just a little bit better what are all the rewards in there. And let me just open that in a second. Okay, so you guys can see we're currently in the rewards tab. And you can see that there are 5 levels that you can reach. So you have star level 1, star level 2, star level 3, star level 4, and star level 5. And it's kind of like space, right? They have aligned it like planets that are combined and, you know, connected to one another, which is really kind of cool. And you can see you need 300 of these star points to be able to unlock the very first level. And if you have, like, in the end, if you have, those 4 levels or 5 levels done, you can reach the Yuri Gagarin as a commander with Brothers in Arms as a 0 perk, and enough XP for a 2nd perk, which is really cool. That's what I will be aiming for. Yuri Gagarin as a commander, that would be really cool. A hero of the Soviet Union, that's exactly like he got the medal for being a hero of the Soviet Union. And that's actually one of the personalities that I find really interesting in the Soviet Union in the era, in the 60s, definitely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So this event will get you several things that you can get. Currently, I'm at 150 points, and you can also get like these 2D skins right there, Moon, or first spaceflight skin, Into Space. You can get personal reserves. You can get the personal training manual with 850,000 experience for 1,800. So there are quite a few goodies and decals that you can get by just having these points. I would highly suggest, if you're playing World of Tanks, really look into the website and get the stuff that you can get. It's really kind of cool. I think it's a really cool event. I have to praise them. I really have to praise them right here. I have completed the very first mission, or the second daily mission. So the next daily mission is available on the 9th, the 10th, the 12th. So actually it's running longer than just the 12th. It's actually going until the 18th of April. So you have quite a few days to do this kind of event, and it's kind of cool. Just ignore that get more star points. I think you shouldn't be paying anything for this event. This event is probably doable with the missions. Just do the missions, play as much as you want to play, do not get stressed out. Enjoy the event, it looks really, really cool. The story, look into the story, the artwork is beautiful. Take a look at the star levels and the rewards, see what you want to get. Maybe you don't want Yuri Gagarin, maybe you just want styles, camouflages. Then you have two 2D styles that cost you 450 for one, and if you don't have gold, that's a great way to get some styles. So all in all, I think this is a really good way to give a bit of props towards a very special time in history. History that still is quite relevant today. Space travel is, I think, the only place where all of the big nations do kind of have some kind of diplomatic relationships, and it has always been a very important part of human dreams, right? Space has always been at the foremind for so many eons. People have looked up into the stars, and it's just this romantic view that we have of space. So give this event a shot. I hope you guys have a little bit of background information and some info about the event, what it's about. If you need more info, there's World of Tanks, the Wargaming website, where you can go and look into it. I can post the link in the description below as well. Hopefully you'll have some good times and you learn some new things about Yuri Gagarin and space travel. And I see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a good one and be safe.